So you're hitting all your beats, but your script still doesn't work. It's not a plot problem, it's a theme problem. And in this video, I'll show you how to fix it. I'm Matt Weiner, and this is Fade In, a channel dedicated to the art of screenwriting. Screenplay books love to talk about theme and how important it is, but none of them actually help writers put words on the page. My system is different. Where most books treat theme as a statement, I treat it as a question. And every character in the story tests that question through their worldviews, strategies, and arcs. Let's break it down. Thematic question. A yes or no question that your story is forced to answer. Worldview. Your character's initial answer to the thematic question. Strategy. How your character behaves because of their worldview. Arc. How the final answer to the thematic question impacts your character. That's it. Now let's compare my system to the big three: Sid Field screenplay, Robert McKee's story, and Blake Snyder's Save the Cat. First up, the OG, Sid Field. Field says that theme is what your story's about. In Rocky, that's one word: perseverance. And that's true, but it doesn't help you write the movie. Instead, ask, does perseverance make you a better person? Rocky's initial answer, his worldview, is no. People like him don't ever get ahead no matter how hard they try. So his strategies are to stay small, take low level fights, avoid risk, survive. But then he gets his shot and his worldview gets tested. Since he has a hero's arc, Rocky's experiences and interactions with other characters convince him that there's a better worldview out there. So he trains, he commits, he stands up for himself and for his newfound love, he changes his strategies, and by the end, he goes the distance. He doesn't win, but he proves to himself and to the world that he's worth something. Therefore, the answer to does perseverance make you a better person is a resounding yes. Next up, Robert McKee and The Dark Knight. McKee defines theme as what your story proves. And in The Dark Knight, that's order can only survive with moral compromise. Again, that's true, but that only explains the ending. It doesn't help you write acts 1 and 2 in order to get there. So instead, ask, can order exist without compromising your morals? Now let's look at worldviews and strategies. Batman's initial answer, his worldview, is yes. And so his strategies are clear: no killing, no shortcuts, maintain your ideals. But then the Joker shows up and he's got the opposing worldview. He does think that order requires moral compromise, and his strategy, chaos. Because in The Dark Knight, Batman's arc is tragic, he ultimately accepts that the answer to the thematic question is no. And so he compromises his morals by spying on the entire city of Gotham just to find the Joker. Finally, let's look at Blake Snyder. Snyder says that theme is an expression of what the main character needs, and it should be said to that person, ideally early in the film, as a line of dialogue. In Good Will Hunting, Will is told early in the film, essentially, you're afraid of what you might become. This works really well to set up Will's story, but it does absolutely nothing to help you write the other characters. So instead, let's ask, are people capable of changing for the better? Will's initial answer to this, his worldview, absolutely not. Any change inevitably leads to pain. And so his strategies make sense: deflect, joke, push people away, sabotage anything that feels real. Because of that, pressure can be applied from every direction based on other characters' worldviews and their strategies. Sean pushes vulnerability. Skylar shows Will what change could look like. Lambeau pushes hard work and staying the course, and his buddy Chucky says, you gotta get out of here, you gotta grow up and leave. Eventually, Will accepts that there is another worldview out there and that people can change for the better. So he goes to see about a girl, not knowing what the future holds, but unafraid. To recap, Field tells you what your story's about. McKee tells you what it proves. Snyder tells you what your character needs. But a thematic question builds the story. This is what I call the heart of the script, and it's part of my modern take on the three-act structure, the Danger Ladder. To learn more about the Danger Ladder, check out the other videos on this channel. And stay tuned for future breakdowns of actual screenplays based on this system to see if it holds up and if it works. Until next page, I'm Matt Weiner, and this is Fade In, a channel dedicated to the art of screenwriting.